The second delegate, also on the library review, Carolyn Borjoski. And I don't believe that you have a presentation, so you can just go ahead. Your 10 minutes starts now.
I actually do have a presentation.
Okay,
I have a screen to share.
Go ahead.
So if you can just reset that, and I just need to grab what I'm saying. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, and you can see my white screen there with the presentation and the date?
I can see your white screen, and your 10 minutes starts now.
All right. Good evening, Director Chanika, senior leaders, and valued trustees of WRDSB. My name is Carolyn Borjoski, and I've been teaching English to new Canadians in this school board for over 20 years. Like most teachers, I focus on my own classroom, and I don't pay close attention to what's happening at the Ed Center. However, I'm becoming increasingly concerned with the decisions that are being made at this level, and that's what brings me here tonight. A recent Record article reported on the school board's intent to cull both the libraries and teachers' personal collections of books deemed harmful. This culling was already underway at the time the article was written, yet the board could not answer the reporter's request for the criteria being used, nor how the team was chosen. No information was shared with teachers about the philosophy by which our personal collections would be judged. In the same article, a senior leader said he was proud of the new diverse books that the board had already purchased. On November 8th, we received a memo in which the board listed criteria for removing books. For example, a book that is misleading might be removed. Well, that sounds perfectly reasonable. A case could be made that some of your new diverse materials are indeed misleading. We teachers received a long list of books and resources for Transgender Awareness Week. Some of these books are a positive addition because they show diverse families and represent a variety of ethnicities. However, I am very concerned that some of the resources in our elementary school libraries are inappropriate for young children. The resources that I am now showing are all in K-6 libraries. And the book Rick by Alex Gino, a boy named Jeff keeps talking to Rick about naked girls. Rick is confused because he doesn't think about naked girls, so he wonders if something's wrong with him. Rick gets invited to the school's Rainbow Club, and he ends up declaring an asexual identity. While reading this book, I was thinking, maybe Rick doesn't have sexual feelings yet because he is a child. It concerns me that this book leaves young boys wondering if there is something wrong with them if they aren't thinking about naked girls all the time. Well, so what message does this book send to young girls who might be in grade 3, 4? They are children. Let them grow up in their own time and stop pressuring them to be sexual so soon. In fact, some of the books filling our libraries make it seem simple or even cool to take puberty blockers and opposite sex hormones. The Other Boy by M.G. Hennessy.
Ms. Borjoski, I'm just getting a little concerned that your content may be problematic. I'm not sure exactly where you're headed, but I would caution you to make sure that you are not saying anything that would violate the Human Rights Code.
Oh, I'm not saying anything that would violate.
I'm just concerned, so please continue. That will not count against your time.
I hope that that I can be heard because these are misleading books, and I'd like to tell you why. The other book by M.G. Hennessy chronicles the medical transition of Shane, who was born female and now identifies as a boy. Shane takes puberty blockers and is now excited to start testosterone. The doctor states that this hormone mixture will leave Shane infertile in the future. Shane's response is, "It's cool," a very typical adolescent response. This book is misleading because it does not take into account how Shane might feel later in life about being infertile. This book makes very serious medical interventions seem like an easy cure for emotional and social distress. And
okay.
Remember,
so I'm going to have to
Point of order. Point of order.
I'm going to point out that the Ontario Human Rights Code includes gender identity and gender expression as prohibited grounds for discrimination, and I'm concerned that that your comments are in violation of that. So I'm ending your presentation.
No, you're not.
Point of order. Point of order. I believe the delegation is talking about age appropriateness.
And
I'm ruling
also,
that it is a violation
and-
of
no,
our
no,
delegation
no.
policy.
Mr. Chair, also, that's a point of order. The delegation is sharing information that CSHES is in our schools. I think that's a stretch to say violation of the Human Rights Code for her to share what is, I believe, unless the director thinks it's not factually correct that these books are in our school, I think the speaker should be allowed to continue.
Yes.
So there is a process for challenging the ruling of the chair. If either of you wish to do that, we will put it to a vote.
So I'll challenge the chair.
And I'll second it.
Okay, so I'm going to pass the chair to Vice Chair Woodcock, who will, I will explain my ruling, and then Trustee Ramsey will explain his challenge to the chair.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Chairperson Patkowski.
Thank you very much. We read the delegation procedure for a reason, and I don't think in my 3 years on the board we have ever had to stop a delegate from speaking. So I take the issue very seriously, but I was concerned that I cautioned the delegate because it appeared that they were headed in a direction that that was problematic. I deemed that their presentation did stray into that territory, and it was absolutely appropriate to stop their presentation when I did, and I'm hoping that you will uphold that ruling.
Okay, so the vote was 5-4 in favor of sustaining the decision of the chair. So the challenge has been defeated, and I'll just turn the chair back over to Chairperson Patkowski.
Thank you, trustees. We're going to continue with the next delegation because I don't think that we can, just press pause when someone has been.
Point of order.
So I ruled that the delegate needed to stop. That decision was upheld. We're not going to hear any more from that delegate tonight. I ask that they be removed from the meeting, and we'll continue with the next delegation, which is Peggy Thomas from the Ontario Library Association. Not surprisingly, also speaking to the Library Review. And I'm told that she does have a presentation to share.
My name is Carolyn Borjoski. On Monday, January 17th, 2022, my presentation to the school board was halted shortly after I began, and I was ejected from the meeting for reading excerpts from children's books and commenting on their age appropriateness. The following morning, HR informed me that I was immediately assigned to home, pending a formal investigation and banned from contacting my colleagues and students. This was particularly upsetting to me because I love my students, and I have not seen them since December. When my students excitedly returned to school on Tuesday, the first day of in-class learning after yet another lockdown, their teacher was not there, and they did not know why. I have been silenced and punished. Meanwhile, board members have taken to radio, television, social media to grossly misrepresent my remarks. I feel bullied, slandered, and abused. The school board has removed the video of the meeting from their YouTube channel so people are not able to hear what I actually said. Most of the short video is me reading excerpts from 2 books available to any young child who is able to read. My few comments express concerns about age-inappropriate sexual content. I did not and do not question the rights of trans persons to exist in any way. I fully support the human rights of transgender people. I have promoted human rights throughout my entire life, and my career has been about valuing every face I look into. This isn't just about me, it's about all of us. Cancel culture needs to stop. We need to recover our ability to listen to each other and to speak with one another with open minds. Respectful dialogue is the core of democracy. Thank you to the numerous people who have supported me this week. Your messages show me that I am not alone in my concerns. You will hear more from me in the future. Thank you.
Blue Region District School Board was removed from a virtual board meeting last night in the middle of her delegation. The chair of the board calling her remarks transphobic. The teacher was speaking to trustees about certain books in school libraries that she felt were not appropriate for children. CTV's Heather Senerin reports.
I've never seen that in the history of the board, and I've been on the board for about 20 years.
A dramatic Waterloo Region District School Board meeting Monday night.
Make it seem simple or even cool to take.
Carolyn Borjoski, a teacher with the public board and delegate, was making a presentation, but she only spoke for a few minutes before she was stopped.
I'm just getting a little concerned.
Her concern, certain books found in school libraries discussing topics like gender and sexuality. Board Chair Scott Pietkowski says he warned her about not violating the Human Rights Code, but he says she continued.
And I did cut them off. My ruling was challenged, but ultimately upheld, and I stand by it.
Some trustees like Mike Ramsey say Borjowski should have been allowed to continue.
It's wrong on so many fronts, and I'm quite disturbed and I'm concerned.
But the chair says Borjowski was being disrespectful.
There were comments that were frankly transphobic, that were questioning the right to exist of trans people.
This book makes very serious medical interventions seem like an easy cure for emotional and social distress. And
Okay.
remember,
So I'm going to have to
Point of
stop.
order.
The teacher, one of 3 delegations, speaking in response to a motion on the agenda about the library review.
My trustee colleague, Trustee Watson, made the original motion. I seconded the motion, and it was properly before the board.
And 2 of them were not problematic in any way.
School board meetings are typically posted online. This one was not. In a statement, the Waterloo Region District School Board said the recording of the live stream was not officially posted due to concerns over a Human Rights Code violation. We are also sensitive to the many students, staff, and members of the wider community who were impacted by comments made during the meeting. The chair says he regrets that it was necessary, claiming he had no choice.
I'm certainly hoping to never have to do that again in my term as chair.
We reached out to the teacher and the local union representing her. They both said they were unable to comment.